This is my review of the Sonik SKS Bite Alarm receiver set. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Blank to Bank Fishing. This is the review of the Sonik SKS Bite Alarm and receiver set. It comes in this box at the start and it has a few pictures on it, but what we're interested in is what's inside the box. So once you open up the box, you are presented with this plastic case, which is what your receiver set and bite alarms are kept in, which closes by two small plastic clips that you simply just pop up like so. They are quite firm, to be fair. I would say the only thing is with plastic clips is obviously they are well known for breaking. Whether they break on this, I don't know. When you open it up, you can see it's nicely padded inside. You're presented with your booklets about how to use them, and the whole kit is presented like that. Now, upon opening it, the first thing that I realised was each alarm was actually much smaller than I thought it would be from looking at pictures online. To me, this is a good thing. They're nice and compact, and they do look decent compared to your kind of standard ones that you may buy for a budget of around £10 or so from Argos or somewhere. Certainly my kind of experience previously has been the more kind of lower end ones. I wouldn't put these as being a top end of bite alarms based on the price that people pay for some bite alarms nowadays. You generally get these for around about the £130 to £150 mark, so that's £130 to £150 roughly, depending on where you get it from. I'd put that more the mid-range. You know, that's quite a bit of money to pay out for something that you'll be using throughout the year, and certainly for those on a budget with the coronavirus stuff going on at the moment. Now, to turn these alarms on, what you do is you simply hold down the top button, which has a V on it, for a couple of seconds and you'll hear it. As you can see, it does a few flashes and does a noise to let you know that it's turned on. Now, the volume basically has 4 different volume settings and a silence, so it should go from 1 to 4 if I press that each time, and you'll hear the difference. And back to silent. So pretty good. You've also then got, there's different tones on there. So if I set the volume up a bit louder so it's easier to hear. So you've got different tones, which you'll hear here. So you can set that to whatever you want. The bottom one is an S. Now what that stands for, I realise, is the sensitivity of it. So at the moment, if you were getting a bite and your line was coming out, it would be going there. So I've got that pretty sensitive there, which shows the slightest of touches, and that's going off. Now notice that I'm going to call that the left-hand side. Obviously it looks a bit different, but the left-hand side one goes off there and remains lit for a small amount of time after it's gone off. If you get a drop-off indication, so for example the fish is taken your bait and is coming towards you, it goes the opposite way and a different light comes on, which is your right hand side one, which is the white one. Now each one of these has a different colour, so this one that I've selected for the purpose of this is the blue one. You've got a white coloured one, you've also got a red one. I'll show you them shortly. Now, to show you the different sensitivity, so as I said, at the moment, I just touched that and it be going off with very, very little movement. If, for example, you were in your bivvy at night, you're getting plagued by some bream or something like that, you wanted to maybe turn it down a bit for sensitivity, so you're only kind of being aware for real good bites and runs from the right fish, you could increase that. So, for example, if I press it, and I have to do a bit more on that. So that's turned off at the moment. You see it's not very sensitive there. A little bit more. And much more sensitive. So there's three different settings there basically. To turn it off, it's exactly the same as before. So you hold down the button and it gives you an audible warning that it's gone off. Likewise with the white one, turns on the same. Got that one there. Now obviously with that one, what you notice is you've got white both sides, including for your drop off, but that shouldn't really bother you too much, I'd imagine. Now all of them are your standard screw-ins at the end. When they come, the bolt there, you're not. The rubber band is actually on the other side. I'm fairly certain the rubber band should be protecting the plastic, hence why I've swapped them around on each one. I did see that someone else mentioned that online. I can't remember who it was, so I can't give credit for that, but someone else had mentioned that. So that's something worth pointing out. Each one of these alarms also has a pack on the back, which is for your batteries. It pops out pretty easily there. I've just put some cheap batteries in here just for the purpose of the video. Now these take 2 AAA batteries. Reviews online suggest that these actually eat batteries a lot. I don't know that yet. I'm going to be taking these out on the bank to test for you for the purpose of this video. So we will see. Now what I did notice is the backs of these, although they come off completely to get back on, but they can be a little bit fiddly to get back on at times, because it's just these tiny little grooves in here you've got to get it right on. It's not the worst in the world that I've ever experienced, but it is a little bit fiddly, I did find, with them, but I'm sure I'll probably get used to that over time. Something that is worth mentioning in regards to the receiver is that it can be paired to a 4th bite alarm should you require one. The M button on here also is actually a memory button, and the purpose of that is so that if you have maybe missed what bite it was, etc., you can press that and that will light up and tell you which the last one was. This can also be set to vibrate only, which is another handy little thing for it. So although it doesn't feel super cheap, it doesn't feel like the best item I've ever held before, it's decent to have for this kind of level of bite alarm, I would suggest. Now the receiver for these bite alarms, I would suggest doesn't feel as high quality as the actual bite alarms themselves do, but then personally I wouldn't expect it to be. I feel it's kind of a bit more of a gimmick for what these are. I will test it out on the bank, but I'd suggest that if you were looking to be going miles away from your rods, now I don't actually mean miles, but a fair distance, I'd suggest this probably isn't going to be up to the job. However, if you're just sat nearby to them and just want that indication so you haven't got to have them really loud for everyone else to hear, it's a handy bit of kit to have. And the way that this works is basically you have a different light for each of the bite alarms. So you, for example, you have a blue go if it's the blue alarm, a red or a white, and vice versa. Again, you've got your modes on there for your volume and your tone, etc. Now it's got an off and on switch on the back, and then your batteries, basically the battery slip on the back of these is a lot similar to the other ones with the little grooves. Now you can see there's like a belt clip there, maybe a lanyard clip. It comes off pretty easy. Now this one takes a 9-volt battery, which I haven't put in there yet, but I'll test that out on the bank for you for the purpose of this video. Now the other bit you get that is free with this, as it calls it a free Bivvy light, is the Bivvy light. Now it's got the usual Sonic markings on it there, and it has 4 different buttons. So you've got a on and off button, LED on and off, a delay time, and a brightness button. Now this one takes treble. Sorry, it doesn't take treble A. This one takes double A, I believe, double A batteries. So I've put some cheap ones in there for that. So 3 double A batteries. A little bit annoying if you've got kind of 3 different lots of batteries you've got to carry with you. That would be one thing I suggest. Certainly if you were going for a kind of longer stay, more than a day session, you're going to need to take spares, and that's 3 different types of batteries you're going to have to take now. But if that doesn't bother you, it's not the end of the world. Now, basically this clips in is your usual, we push it and just give it a little twist, and that kind of hooks onto that. So this is like, it's still got plastic covering on it at the moment, where I haven't tested it, but it's got a metal plate there and magnets. It's also got a retractable hook, which I can't actually seem to get out at the moment. But that's basically so you can hang it up in your bivvy. So you either hang it or you can use a magnet to stick it to a pole. So for turning it on, so when you turn it on, you probably may have seen it just then, it does a few little blips on there. So basically the idea of this Bivvy light is that when the respective bite alarm goes off, so say for example if you've got your red one out, if you get a bite on your red one, this will light up red. If the blue one, it'll be blue and white one. The idea of that is so that if you've just woken up or you're in your bivvy and you suddenly see you've got a bite, you know which rod it's going to be, just a bit of early indication. For something that is supposedly free, not bad at all. There's obviously a few extra bits and bobs you can kind of do with this. Now to turn it off and on, you just do the same thing, hold it down for about 2-3 seconds. It's nice how it also, there's there's space made for that inside here as well, so because it does come quite nicely all packed together, and this plastic case does feel fairly sturdy. So I'd imagine unless you drop it or something, it should be okay. Obviously being plastic, if you did drop that with the connectors on the bottom here, you could quite easily get a break or have these guys break off. So I could foresee this could easily get broken. You'd end up having to stick them elsewhere, but for what it is, good bit of kit so far. But we'll test it on the bank and see how it kind of actually does in a real world setting. Thank you for watching my video on the Sonik SKS Bite Alarm receiver set. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps get the channel off the ground as being a new YouTube channel. If you did enjoy, please check out some of my other content. Thank you, take care.